So let's go ahead and start talking about point slope form of a line. So the point slope form of a line is written in this form. So you have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where x1, y1 is a point that the line will pass through, and m is the slope of the line. So if you have the slope and you have a point, then you can actually use this form to express the equation of that line. Let's go ahead and look at our first example. So in this problem, we want to find an equation of the line that will go through these 2 points. All right, so we need to first figure out what the slope is. So slope, we use the symbol m to represent slope. So we have m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, from these points, we can select our x1, y1, and x2, y2. I'll pick the first one to be x1, y1, and the second one, x2, y2. Now, let's go ahead and substitute these points into our slope formula. We have y2, that's 8, minus y1, that is 6, over x2, that's 2, minus 3. And we perform the subtractions, 8 minus 6, that's 2, and 2 minus 3, that's -1, which we can just represent it as -2. So we have the slope, now we need a point. Now, you can either pick the first point or the second point, it doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and select this one. So we have selected the point 3, 6. Now let's write out the equation. So the equation of this line, it's going to be represented by the point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Let's plug in our point m into this formula. So we will be substituting for this piece. That's the y coordinate of the point, m, the slope, and x1, which is our x coordinate of that point. So we have y minus y1, which is 6, is equal to m, that is -2, and x minus x1, that is 3. So there you have the equation of the line in point slope form. Now, of course, you can move things around, but this is good enough. Okay, so for this problem, we again want to find the equation of the line, and we'll express it in point slope form. But first, let's go ahead and find the slope. But before we do that, we need 2 points. Now, each intercept can be written as a pair of points. So the x-intercept can be written as 1, 0, because the y-coordinate is always 0 for the x-intercept. And the y-intercept is when the x-coordinate is 0, so we have 0, -8. So there you have 2 points. Now let's find the slope. So m is given by, as you all know, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, let's go ahead and make our selection. I'm going to label the first point x1, y1, second one x2, y2. Now let's substitute them into our slope formula. We have -8 minus 0 over, now x2, that's 0, minus x1, 1. And this will give us -8 over -1, which is +8. Nice. So we have our slope, that is 8. Now we're going to select the point to write out the equation. In this term, let's go ahead and select the second point. So we're going to select the point 0, -8. Again, it doesn't really matter which one you select. So we know the point, we know the slope. Let's plug them into y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Again, we will be substituting for y1, the y coordinate of the point, m, the slope, and x1. Okay, so this will give us y minus y1. Well, let's call this one x1, y1. Those are the points. We have -8 is equal to m, that's 8, x minus x1, that is 0. And now let's clear out the double negative. So we have y minus -8, that's simply y plus 8 equal. Now here you don't have to write x minus 0, it looks silly to write, but you can keep it if you want to. I'm just going to simply write it as 8x. And this is your line. You can leave it right here, or you can rewrite it in a different form. But pretty much the idea is to be able to put the equation in a point slope form. All right, so I hope this helps. I'll see you next time.